This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler. Today, I'm your host. Today, I want to start with something uncomfortable. I'm talking about the Austin Theory reveal that it maybe didn't fail. It didn't. I'm talking about the Austin Theory reveal, the reveal that did not fail on Monday Night Raw. It failed earlier than that. It failed way before that. I'm talking about it failed on wrestling news sites. It failed on people's timelines, on Twitter, Reddit, and it failed in the comment section. Because by the time WWE decided that it was time to... Because by the time WWE told the story they wanted to tell, fans, us, we've already decided how we felt about it. So this episode today, it's not just about Austin Theory. It's about how hard it has become to keep anything a secret in pro wrestling and whether it's killing the mystery altogether. Just so that we understand, this is not a rant. I'm not going to be ranting and going crazy, no. This is not anti-media, no. This conversation is about the ecosystem and not one performer. But you know what? Austin Theory is the latest subject that we can use to get the whole entire idea across. But before we even talk about the big reveal itself, we need to talk about the environment it was revealed in. Whether it's your first time watching, whether you're watching live or on demand, this is fully interactive. I want to hear from you. I like to talk to everybody. I see that my man, Stu, he's in the chat, and he's here to drop his view. Stu, what's going on, brother? Glad to see that you're here. We also got a live poll going on as well, too. Wait, no, what did Stu say to call? No, don't call it a poll. A survey. I got a survey going on because we don't do polls over here. The survey says, did the internet ruin Austin Theory's reveal for you? So right now, the choices are, yes, it was spoiled early. That's at 0%. No, the story still works. That's at 0%. 100% of the audience says, I'm still waiting to see. And the other option is, I never cared anyway. So lock it in. Let me know what you think. So we're talking about the masked man. We are talking about Austin Theory. Wrestling news sites, they rushed to identify the masked man. They didn't know who that masked man was, right? Then you had the exclusive posts that became widespread assumptions. Us as fans, we assumed the answer before the question even played out. It wasn't rumors. It was certainty. The reveal eventually that we got a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, the reveal, it became a confirmation. It wasn't a surprise. When I saw Austin Theory as the masked man, my response was, well, you know what is wet? What is wet? Thanks for letting me know. What is wet? You know, the sky, there's clouds in the sky. You know, dogs bark. Things that we already knew. There was no big reveal for me. It wasn't what? It wasn't me clutching my pearls or anything like that. What we all started doing on this channel here was that we started booking somebody else, anybody else other than Austin Theory, because we didn't want the surprise ruined for us. Now, it's so hard for us to try to avoid getting these spoilers because you see the spoilers literally on social media. You can't really escape the spoilers. We knew that it was Austin Theory before WWE even said it was Austin Theory. There was even rumor and innuendo that it was somebody else underneath the mask standing in for Austin Theory because everybody already knew that it was Austin Theory. You see, my whole thing, right? What sense does it make for anybody that wrestles, that works for the WWE, to be sitting here stooging off the storylines, right? It doesn't make any sense at all. You're stooging off the storyline so that everybody already knows what happens. Why? Are you getting? I hope you're getting paid for it, and I hope that you're getting paid really well as well too. But I think that with the ticket prices that WWE is charging these days that you probably would not need the money that much.
Thank you.
Stu came in with a really good point. Stu says it depends on how they stick the landing. At this point, brother, you are 100% right, because we are just waiting to see what happens. When everybody on the internet, on Threads, you could follow me on Threads at The Real Big Tris, when everybody on Threads was hating on it and saying, oh, Austin Theory, I said, wait. I said, stop. Why don't we just wait to see what happens? We already knew that it was Austin Theory. We already know that when you take the can of Pepsi out of the fridge that it's already cold. So you know what? Let's just see what it tastes like. Let's see how cold it really is. We know that water's wet. You know, let's just see how wet it is. Water's really wet. In case you didn't know, water's really wet. It's all about how they stick the landing. It's about what WWE does next, how they tell the story, how do they make us even care about Austin Theory going forward. Because when we had Austin Theory before, who the hell was Austin Theory before? He was, A-Town Down Under? It was corny. He was, Theory. They dropped off the Theory off his name. Austin Theory is one of those big indie names that came through Evolved, and WWE fumbled him in the beginning. Now he out there with the mean look on his face, and we are supposed to care about you now? I think we're trying. We're trying little by little to care about Austin Theory. Here's my question, though. Whether you're watching live or on demand, I know the answer to this question. But I'm going to be shocked by anybody who answers this question any other way. Did you already know it was Austin Theory before Raw said, hey, this is Austin Theory? And did it change how you reacted? I know that you already knew. Because if you are watching the Tristan Law Show, you are somebody that loves pro wrestling, and you probably visit the news sites and you have a really strong opinion about pro wrestling. So the real question then is, did it change how you reacted? The way, in my opinion, the way that WWE wanted me to react is not the way that I reacted. When I saw that it was Austin Theory, I was like, I didn't care. You know what? Y'all want a hand clap? I'm going to give y'all a hand clap. If that's what y'all really wanted. Because, quite frankly, I didn't care whether it was Austin Theory or not. My whole thing was, I just want to see what y'all do next. What y'all going to do with this? What did I want it to be? I want it to be multiple people. Multiple people. The question, I want it to be multiple people because it would have said that, it's bigger than Austin Theory. Maybe it could have been Montez Ford because you haven't seen Montez Ford and you haven't seen the Street Profits in a long time. Maybe it could have been tied into something with Chris Jericho. It could have went so many different ways with this whole entire thing. But I don't think that Austin Theory was the one that made me go, oh my God, Austin Theory. Because what did Austin Theory really do before? I think if Austin Theory had came in as a no-name and we didn't know who Austin Theory was, then maybe you'd be like, okay, well, what is it that we have to see from this guy? But we've already seen who Austin Theory is. There's no big whoop-de-doo when it comes to Austin Theory. And once that certainty set in that it was Austin Theory, something else happened. Social media fans, like I said, we started booking the filled gaps. We convinced ourselves that it should be somebody else. We convinced ourselves that it should not be Theory. Because what the hell was Austin Theory was doing before? We said that it deserved to be someone bigger. It would have been, it turned, you know what it really turned into once we knew that it was Austin Theory? It turned into Austin Theory became the worst case scenario. And because if it's nobody else, let's make it Austin Theory. And it wasn't because it didn't make sense. It's because it wasn't really exciting enough. Like I said, What was Austin Theory doing before? Nothing that made me say, you know what, here, take my money. I'm not saying that Austin Theory is a bad wrestler at all. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the reveal being Austin Theory didn't make me say, you know what, I can't wait to see what Austin Theory does. It made me go, oh, well, great, Austin Theory, great. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Can't wait. I want it to be anybody except for Austin Theory. Austin Theory came in, he's in great shape. He looks great. He was in good shape before, but he looks great. He probably lost about 10 pounds, 5 to 10 pounds. He looks lean. Look at that picture from Monday Night Raw. But the question that I'm asking is, why? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing Seth Rollins' move? Why? Why? To me, that part don't make no sense. There's still a whole gap in the story that needs to be told. Why is he doing Seth Rollins' move? I've seen a rumor and innuendo on the internet that maybe Seth Rollins sent him to destroy the Vision from the inside. So maybe he's a part of Vision 2.0. I don't know. Just freestyling. But it wasn't because Austin Theory didn't make sense. It's because I think that it wasn't exciting enough. Stu says, of course, I honestly thought his face reveal could have been better, but it felt more like, okay, we can't drag this on any too longer. Mass attack angles shouldn't last too long. You know what, Stu? I thought the big reveal was going to happen. And, you know, you watch all the time, you know. I thought the big reveal, and first off, thank you for your comment. I thought the big reveal was going to happen at the Raw in Barclays Center, the first Raw on the anniversary or close to the anniversary of Raw going on Netflix. The first Raw of 2026, I thought that's when that big reveal was going to come. I didn't think it was going to come any sooner. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll be honest, Stu. I was shocked. I was shocked that it didn't go on that long, that it didn't go on until all they had to do was stretch it out. Literally, it was he revealed that episode of Raw that we watched on Monday. They taped those both in one night, the week before. So we would have had that the Raw that he revealed, the Raw that we just seen, and one more Raw, and then New Year. Yeah, so we would have had 4 weeks. Damn, I gotta look at the calendar just to double check to make sure that's right. They would have had, yeah, they would have had at least 4 more Raws before they get to the first Raw of 2026. But you didn't have to show us him every week, because now we'd be wondering, when the hell is he coming out? Who is he going to curb stomp next? I think that they could have dragged it out, Stu, but just not give him to us, not give us the masked person so much. We got the masked person every single week. Every week we got the masked person. Let him go away. The only event since the Elimination Chamber that we didn't see the masked person was John Cena at Saturday Night Main Event. We didn't even see him. Or maybe he was there, we didn't see him. Oh my God, I just didn't even realize what I did. Stu said that fans are now saying that Austin is a double agent for Seth, and I'm okay with that, but WWE just has to stick it with the landing. I want him to return as a face because he has charisma that they won't use for some reason. Stu, you see you? I'm okay with him being a double agent for Seth Rollins, because there's one thing that you have to understand with the Vision. There's a lot of ego in the Vision. There's more ego in the Vision than Jesus had disciples. You got Braun Breaker out there running around with his big ego. You got Bronson Reed in there, who probably has the most control of his ego, but he got an ego as well too. And then they're supposed to go in there and just let Austin Theory just come in and just be the top guy? Maybe he is the double agent. And you know that the way that WWE tells stories these days, they're telling us long-term stories. Long-term stories. That didn't make no sense. They're telling us long-term stories. They're telling you, hey, well, what they could be telling us, hey, Seth Rollins is in division. Now, Seth Rollins got hurt. They got rid of Seth Rollins, storyline-wise, right, and hurt him. He's out. Now, Austin Theory just comes out of nowhere. Masked Man comes out of nowhere, comes out to be Austin Theory. And he's using Seth Rollins' move. Why is he using Seth Rollins' move? Maybe he is the double agent. Maybe, Stu, maybe he really is babyface, but we haven't gotten to that chapter yet. Anybody watching right now, everything that's happening with the Vision, yo, I'm getting, golly, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I love wrestling. I love wrestling. What we are watching right now with Austin Theory, this all started, oh my God, the hairs on my head are standing up. I cut my hair off. What we are watching right now with Austin Theory and the Vision, with CM Punk, maybe that's why, I just had the idea. Maybe, okay, it could be. I'm going to go back to tell you the long-term storytelling where this all started. I'm going to say it real quick. The long-term storytelling, this all started way back with the Bloodline. Before anybody was even caring about Austin Theory. Before Braun Breaker was known as the fastest man in the WWE. Before Bronson Reed was jumping off of the rope and splashing people and crushing their guts. And then it spun off into the Bloodline 2.0. And then it spun off into into the Vision. And then it spun off into Vision 2.0. If you look, it's all connected. It's all connected. I think maybe Paul Heyman, maybe the common denominator. But here's the thing that I thought. So why? Okay. So if he's a double agent working for Seth Rollins, right? Seth Rollins is the puppet master sitting at home on the couch. Why is Austin Theory attacking CM Punk? Easy. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, they got more beef than a meat store. Okay. How about this one? Why is he attacking Rey Mysterio? Didn't Rey Mysterio have a little bit of beef with Seth Rollins a couple years ago during the pandemic? Isn't that how Rey Mysterio lost his eye? I don't know, it magically grew back. Mind your business, it's wrestling. This could definitely be a long-term storytelling that we don't even see yet. And you know what I'm telling everybody? It's fun for us to sit around and try to book it and try to figure out where it's going to go. But I want us to all to just enjoy it for what it is, right? Let's not try to turn the pages, but let's have let's not try to have WWE rush and turn the pages. Let's not be too eager. Let's not be drive-through. Park your car, get out the car and walk inside. But while they are giving it to us nice and slow, let's talk about it. Let's book it. Let's fantasy book it. Let's figure it out and see which way that it could go. We still got the poll going on. We got some new votes coming in. Did the internet ruin the Austin Theory reveal for you? 33% of the audience says no, the story still works. And 67% of the audience says, I'm still waiting to see. Look, do I think that the internet ruined it for me? Hold on. But the internet didn't ask, does this story work? They didn't. They didn't ask that. Internet didn't ask that. It asked, does this match my imagination? Look. We knew that it was Austin Theory. We wanted to use our imagination and be like, no, that's not true. We wanted something else. But here's the question. Let me know in the chat. Has fantasy booking ruined our ability to enjoy the real booking? I'm talking about what we do here sometimes on the Tristan Law Show. I'm talking about us sitting here trying to figure it out before they let it out. I'm talking about us just sitting here and just seeing where the storylines could go. Sometimes what we talk about is more interesting than what the WWE could be giving us. Granted, they're the professionals, but we are the fantasy bookers. We are the fantasy Triple H, because we are the bookers. Stu said that fans don't, he said fans, quotation, fans, don't enjoy wrestling enough. It's fine to be critical, but be genuine. I see people screaming and calling everything trash. I don't get it. Look, man. I don't think, thank you again, Stu. I personally don't think that everything inside of pro wrestling today is trash. I don't think that pro wrestling has trash. I think that pro wrestling today is a buffet. You go to the buffet, you take what you want, you take what you want, and you leave what you don't want. That's how I see it. Look, in case you guys don't know who I am, I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler and host of the Tristan Law Show. When I wrestled, I could have done death matches, but you must be out of your mind. I was not doing no death match. Not at all. No sirree, Bob. It wasn't happening. Could I have probably made a little bit more money doing death match wrestling? Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I didn't do death match wrestling. Could I have made more money, going to Japan? Sure. But like pro wrestling is a buffet. There's just so much that you can get from it. There's people that like deathmatch wrestling that don't like WWE. There's people that like WWE that don't like AEW. There's people that like AEW that don't like WWE. There's people that says American wrestling is trash, so they go to Japan. There's people that say that Japanese wrestling is trash, they go watch Lucha Libre. There's so many different styles of pro wrestling, and you know what? If you like every single thing that pro wrestling has to offer, you know what? God bless you. But you know what? I don't think that everything is trash. And Stu is right. Stu says that they're calling everything trash and he doesn't get it. I don't get it either. I don't get it. Everything is not trash. People that say that they want AEW to go away, slap yourself. Where's AEW going to go? Do you guys remember what it was like when WWE was the only sheriff in town? If there was no AEW, listen to me what I'm telling you. Listen. If there was no AEW, there'd be no resurgence of TNA. TNA would be dead and gone. You know who would own the library of TNA? WWE. If there was no AEW, there would be no TNA. If we're working with WWE. If there was no AEW, there'd be no AAA. We would not be. If there was no AEW, there would be no, we're WWE American wrestling fans. Lucha wrestling is different in so many different ways. In America, we work the left side. In Mexico, they work the right side. You always watch when you watch WWE, they're always attacking the left arm, the left leg. In Mexico, it's usually the right side. They work different in Mexico. And a lot of Americans have only been really introduced to AAA, to Lucha Libre in the past year. Of course, you've got your Rey Mysterios, you got your Sin Caras, you got your Dragon Lee. But that's not Lucha Libre. That's WWE. Those are wrestlers that have done the Lucha style that have come to the WWE. Oh yeah, but I grew up in the Attitude Era and I watched the Cruiserweights. That was not Lucha Libre. That was an interpretation of Lucha Libre, of Mexican style wrestling. If AEW had gone away or doesn't exist, there'd be no reason for WWE to say, you know what? Let me try to go get that side of the market. If AEW had went away, there'd be no reason for WWE to say, you know, we need to make sure that TNA survives. Because what TNA is doing, whether you like it or not, TNA's in their resurgence. They're getting ready to go to AMC in the next couple weeks because we're almost up to January. Happy Mother New Year. And WWE is using TNA as a feeder system into NXT. They don't have to send those wrestlers up through Evolve or have them go to the Performance Center before you send them on TV. No, you've already built the emotional investment. WWE, okay, like for example, Joe Hendry. In case you didn't know, Joe Hendry wrestles for the WWE. He is a WWE talent on NXT. How did you know about Joe Hendry? TNA. But maybe you didn't watch TNA. Maybe maybe you live in a WWE bubble. My bad, I was in New York. The New York came out of me. Maybe you live in the WWE bubble and you didn't know who Joe Hendry is. But you exactly know when you say his name, he appears, and you believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry now works for the WWE. WWE doesn't have to have him show up at an NXT, sit in the audience, and then for you to go Google to see who the hell Joe Hendry is. You already know who he is. So it's beneficial for AEW to still be around. So anybody that says that all of pro wrestling is trash right now, go find something else to watch. Because everybody that comes here to the Tristan Law Show, we love wrestling one way or another. Me, I may not be a big AEW head, but I watch, and I promise I'm going to watch AEW in person in 2026 to give me my live fix because WWE tickets are too expensive. I was going to go see AEW in, the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan. But the tickets and the prices that they wanted, it cost way too much. I was like, nah, hold on. I don't want none of that. But if I can get me a good ticket for a good price, why the hell not? I'm going to go enjoy AEW. If people are complaining that wrestling is not good, that wrestling is not good, go find something else to watch. If you think that WWE is not good, go watch AEW. If you think that AEW is trash, go watch TNA. If you think that TNA is trash, go watch Lucha Libre. You know what? Just go watch AAA and see what the hell they do there. They got their TV deal. They're coming on Fox and Tubi. Everybody got Tubi. If you can't find any love in any of that, man, just turn off the TV. Go read a book. Go find something to do. Mackenzie 1998 said, some people be hating and complaining about the Vision Group. I don't do that. I want the storyline to be good. And so far, I'm interested in the storyline. Solid comment, Mackenzie. 1998. Thank you so much. 1988. Thank you so much for your comment. Look, Mackenzie, I personally, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't ever turn on the TV and hope that a storyline sucks. Because if you ask me, I think that the world runs on two things. The world runs on two things. And what are those two things? There's two things that operate the entire planet. Doesn't matter what language you speak. Doesn't matter who you voted for in an election. It doesn't matter who you look like, what you look like. It doesn't matter who you sleep in your bed with at night. Two things that power the world. What are they? Time and money. I don't want to waste my time watching pro wrestling that is trash. So every single time I turn on the TV to watch pro wrestling, every single time that I sit here in front of you guys, I have to say, you know what? We're always hoping for the best. Maybe that's why some of us have a abusive relationship with the WWE. Abusive because they look, bruh, look, sis, Mackenzie. I'm assuming that you're a female, Mackenzie. Look, listen. There's been a time that we've watched Monday Night Raw, and Monday Night Raw was trash. There's been times that we watch Monday Night Raw, be like, oh my God, at least there's SmackDown. SmackDown was trash. There was a time in 2018, 2019, when Raw and SmackDown were so bad, the best show that WWE had was NXT. There was a time that Raw was meh and SmackDown was really even meh, that the best show to watch was WWE Superstars. It had the best wrestling if you just wanted wrestling. Has fantasy booking ruined our ability to enjoy real booking? Nah, I don't think so. I think it's fun. I think that fantasy booking is just like people making, fan created content. Like, for example, like me, I love Power Rangers. That's my thing. 40-year-old man was watching Power Rangers when I was, 95? When I was 10? No, it was before that. 7? I don't know. 93 is when it came out. Yeah, it might have been 7 and 93. Somebody do the math. Somebody call my mother. I think that fantasy booking is us taking the lore of pro wrestling and running with it. I think that I know. Fantasy booking is us taking what they're giving us and go, oh my God, what if they give us this? I think that fantasy booking, it adds a little bit of excitement to what we are doing, to what we get to see. Because when you get to see that your story came true, the one that you wanted, you go, oh my God, we're thinking with WWE. But sometimes when it doesn't come through, it's like, all right, well, it was good. It was even better than what we thought. Oh, Mackenzie's a dude too. My bad, Mackenzie. Welcome. Never seen your face or your name here before, but I'm glad that you're here. Welcome, Tristan Law Show, semi-retired pro wrestler and your host. We come here and we allow everybody to have their unfiltered hot takes about pro wrestling. On Mondays and Fridays, I'm normally live with Jess, the Yapton. She's my female co-host. And on next Wednesday, I'm going to have Tyrell. He's going to be joining us. And we're going to be talking about some wrestling next week. You guys know who he is. From the Nosebleeds show on YouTube. Check that out. But yeah, welcome, Mackenzie. Stu says, that's why we watch the Tristan Law Show, because we have discussions here. Bro, let me tell you something. One of the things that the reason why I do the show, one of the reasons I do the show live is because I was on the internet talking with other people about pro wrestling. And I was like, we all like talking about pro wrestling. So why not come here and just talk about it? Why not? There's no issue with us talking about it. I always say, as long as we're respectful and we're not calling anybody outside of their name and any of that crazy stuff, we can always have a discussion. Look, I can't remember which event that it was. Was it War Games? I think I was the only person that liked War Games. Everybody else thought War Games was straight up trash. You guys liked War Games. I didn't. I mean, you guys hated War Games. I didn't. I loved War Games. I give the ability because I don't want to talk at you. That's why I tell everybody, if you can catch the show live, catch it live. Especially if you're a wrestling fan that has an opinion. If you can catch the Tristan Law Show live, come on. Jump into the comments. I see how many people be watching at times. And the comments, the people that are commenting, don't match the amount of people that are actually watching. Look, some people are shy. That's okay. Some people are watching on your television. And unless you have a keyboard or something like that, but you know what? Maybe you could watch on your TV and pull out your phone and comment. I got the number that people could call, 973-826-0101. Send me a voice message. Let me know how you feel about something in wrestling. And if your take is fire, I'm going to play it here on the show and we're going to talk about it. Email me, tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. I got people that email me and talk about wrestling. People that ask me, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Can you give me some advice? Yeah, you want some advice for your YouTube channel? Find out who your audience is and talk to them. So what I created here in the Tristan Law Show was a live experience where you as a wrestling fan that has an opinion could come here and voice your opinion live. You don't have to call and wait. You can voice your opinion live and see if other people have your same opinions. Sometimes in the chat, there be arguments in the whole chat. There's sometimes, depending on if it's a PLE, if it's after a PLE or going into a PLE, there's a whole separate show going on in the chat. Who are bro? K Naperture 2093 said, who are bro? I think it means who am I? Man, I'm Tristan Law. Thanks so much for joining. Stu says that 2018 to 2019 was so bad for WWE. Bro, it wasn't even bad for WWE, bro. It was bad for us. It was bad for us. We had to sit there and watch this. Did the internet ruin Austin Theory's big reveal for you? 50% said I'm waiting to see. 33% says no, the story still works. 17% said I never cared anyway. And 0% said yes, it was spoiled too early. So I'm guessing, based on that so far, keep those votes coming in if you're watching live. I'm guessing that if you didn't choose yes, it was spoiled early, or you never cared either way, maybe you didn't see it on the internet, maybe you saw that it was Austin Theory and you don't care. Maybe one of the things that you probably want to do is, if you didn't care, maybe you just need to hang around for a little bit and to see what happens. Mackenzie says that people want too much with storylines and they're never satisfied. You're right. You're right. You know what? I'm gonna give you a hand clap. Mackenzie, 1988, jumping up in the chat, brand new here on the Tristan Law Show. Mackenzie says, and Mackenzie right now is the number one person in the chat. It looks like Stu backed off for a little bit. If you want to be number 1, 2, and 3, put some messages in the chat. Mackenzie says that people want too much with storyline and they're never satisfied. When you are watching WWE, one of the things that I always say is that if you're watching WWE is very storyline driven. Very storyline driven in the WWE. And if you're watching something like, who is ringing my bell? Don't they know that I'm here live on the Tristan Law Show? But they want to ring the bell to see if I'm here. Let me see who it is. I don't know who it is. Somebody that can wait, I guess. I'm looking up. That's right. Walk out. Close the gate. Thanks. Oh, Fernando's here. What's going on, Fernando? Thank you so much for joining. I think that people are not satisfied with the storyline sometimes. But if you're watching WWE is very storyline driven. If you're watching AEW is very wrestling driven. If you want great wrestling matches where people are jumping up off the rope and doing super kicks in the air and all them other crazy stuff, oh yeah. Yeah. Go watch AEW. If you want a storyline that's going to have you clutch your pearls, that's going to shock you, go watch WWE. When you're talking about the greatest reveal of all time, one of the greatest debuts of all time, I can't think of one of the greatest debuts in AEW, but I can think right off the top of my head. If you put a gun to my head right now and said, give me the greatest reveal in WWE, or the greatest introduction of a character, Kane. Hands down, Kane. Maybe, I'm freestyling right now, Bray Wyatt, when he came back with the Firefly Funhouse. Those were, I think that WWE does really well when they have deep storylines, when you can really go into the storylines. Well, I'm not talking about the storylines being ankle deep. I'm talking about waist deep storylines in the WWE. Fernando says there were better. Wait, no, hold on. Let me go to Stu first. Stu says we should be talking about what we should be talking about is what does Austin Theory gain for being a double agent? What's in it for him? You're right. Okay, so fine. I'm going to freestyle that right now. What's in it for Austin Theory? Being a double agent, he gets to be in bed with Seth Rollins. He gets the rub from Seth Rollins. Imagine when you find out that you're thinking now that, because right now the question is, why is he doing the curb stomp? He don't got that much of a history with Seth Rollins. Not that much. Not anything for us to care about. Seth Rollins is a main eventer. Braun Breaker is one step away from main event, and right behind him is Bronson Reed. And where is Austin Theory? Austin Theory is like low main event. Austin Theory is, I'm talking about like WWE superstars. I'm talking about the WWE Saturday show. I'm talking about we don't even really care about Austin Theory too tough. But look at Grayson Waller. Him and Grayson Waller's hanging on around the same exact place, so you put them with somebody else to see if you can get them a little bit of star power. So now you're going to have Seth Rollins and Austin Theory against Braun and Braun. Look, that's a whole passing of the torch moment right there. That could be something that could be coming that we don't even know yet. That's what could be in it for Austin Theory. And we're going to talk about in a little bit why Austin Theory, why he put on the mask. Fernando says there were better choices than Theory. Stu was asking a really valid question. Who would you have then, Fernando? Who would you have? I agree that there were better choices than Austin Theory, and we've all talked about it. Maybe it could have been Montez Ford, but why? Maybe it could be Chris Jericho, but why? But you know what? Right now, we got Austin Theory, and I'm telling everybody, you know what? Just hang out. Don't give up on the WWE. Don't hang out and just see where it is. But here's the thing. This angle, though, I think this whole angle, it wasn't even probably built around shock. It was Austin Theory. It was not speculation, and it wasn't vibes. It wasn't for us to feel anything. Sometimes I think the WWE leaks out their own stuff. They probably have somebody in the writer's room. Because look, when you're sitting in the writer's room, you know it's one of those people. You know it's not everybody. Maybe WWE leaks things on purpose. Maybe they felt, listen to this. Maybe they felt Austin Theory dressing up as the Masked Man wasn't really all that important. Maybe they felt that Austin Theory dressing up as the Masked Man, we wouldn't care about Austin Theory as the Masked Man. So what they did was they released it. Hey, somebody go call WrestleZone. Somebody go call, I don't know, whoever's out there releasing news, Meltzer, and let him know that it's Austin Theory. And that's all you got for him. Because maybe they felt that we wouldn't care that it was Austin Theory. So you know what? Instead of letting us speculate, just tell us who it is. But they tell us indirectly. Theory says, gimmick-wise, that the mask was about resetting perception. It was about being heard again. It was about forcing people to stop projecting old opinions. Okay, let's talk about that. Resetting the perception. Did anybody care about Austin Theory? I know I didn't. I didn't care about Austin Theory. I don't care whether Austin Theory won or lost. I don't think that A-Town Down Under was anything that I ever really cared about. Were they even a tag team champion? Probably not. I didn't care enough to even remember if they were. It was nothing memorable. There's not one memorable moment I can think about with Austin Theory other than they dropped the Austin part from his name. They called him Theory. Then they called him Austin Theory again. And then he was Austin Theory in a mask. Being heard again. I'm not going to lie. Before Austin Theory was in that mask as the Masked Man, I wasn't listening to Austin Theory. When Austin Theory pops up on the TV, you know what I'm doing? Let me go take a quick leak real quick. Yeah, I can pause the TV, but I'm not going to pause the TV. I just want this to run out so that when I come back, it's gone. It's going to stop forcing people to projecting old opinions in Austin Theory. Oh, Austin Theory is that A-Town Down Under guy. He's that funny heel guy that looks great, has muscles, and whatever. Austin Theory came out in a mask. Now, Austin Theory has been revealed. You see Austin Theory wrestling. I think I got a picture here. Austin Theory in the ring. Austin Theory's in the ring. Brand new gear. Not wearing those bright colors anymore. If you ask me, I think his gear kind of looks like maybe the Shield. Damn, I got goosebumps thinking about that. Austin Theory came out in new gear, new ring attire. And Austin Theory came out in new ring attire, so now you get the opportunity to see, you know what, maybe we can care about him a little bit differently. He don't look like the same A-Town Down Under guy. You know what, Austin Theory looked like he got a few more muscles on him as well, too. Good thing Maria's not here. Fernando says, is this the third restart for Austin Theory? Brother, I have already lost count. But you know what? I think this is the restart that's going to make the most sense. This is the restart that's going to matter. One of the things that the WWE has done in the past like 2 to 3 years is that they've stacked the roster at the top. There's always going to be people that you can pull in and out of the mid-card. There's so many mid-card people that you can pull in and out, it doesn't even matter. But the issue used to be, remember when Stone Cold Steve Austin got hurt? Oh my God, they had to pick somebody else. They're scrambling. When The Rock decided he was going to go to Hollywood, oh my God, we got to make somebody before The Rock goes to Hollywood. When Stone Cold Steve Austin retired altogether, oh my God, we got to find somebody else. When Kurt Angle left the WWE, oh my God, we got to find somebody else. For a while, SmackDown in the mid-2000s, early 2000s, SmackDown was the place where you would go to see the next generation of superstars. Yeah, you would have your Triple H's on Raw, you would have your Kanes on Raw, but it was anchored by The Undertaker. Undertaker was already the OG. They put somebody over there legit. But then you would have your Eddie Guerreros, your Rey Mysterios, your Kurt Angles, your John Cenas. But when all those people left, it was like, what do you do? So a lot of people are complaining that, for example, Seth Rollins was involved in too many storylines. He's got beef with everybody. Look, there are people at your job who just got beef with everybody. Seth Rollins was in so many storylines. So with Seth Rollins being in so many storylines, there were so many different people that can be plugged in and out of the main event. Seth Rollins is gone right now. He's hurt. Who can they put in the main event right now? CM Punk, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Now you got Austin Theory in there as well too. So I think that with Austin Theory, this being his third restart, this is the best time for him to get restarted because now he's one of the people that could be plugged out of the mid card and plugged into the main event. But we just have to wait and see what happens next. Austin Theory wrestling coming out in the mask, it wasn't maybe the whole thing about Austin Theory. Listen to what I'm saying. Maybe Austin Theory coming out in the mask, it wasn't about him being hidden. Maybe it was about him being reintroduced. For you to see the shadow of a person, for you to not judge him right away, like he said, for you to take him as this new character that they're giving us. Because the mask, look, Fernando says, how many times has he been reset? Is this the third time? The mask for us, it wasn't a mystery. It was a hard reset. That's exactly what it was. Let's go give the chat a little bit of love. Stu says, wait, no, I think it was more. Mackenzie says, there's nobody else in that fit that storyline. Austin Theory was the right choice. I agree. You know what? It's one of those things, like when you go through things in your life and people say, you know what? You don't see, I was talking to one of my friends and she was telling me about some stuff and she's not feeling great. Shout out to her. Hope she's on her way back to being the new person. But I'm telling her that maybe you don't understand the lesson. But right now, I can tell you where the blessing lies. Every relationship that you have, and I'm talking to all of you out there, that may be feeling a certain kind of way, you might be depressed because you know when Christmas coming and you don't got no boo thing. You don't need no boo thing. We got each other right here on the Tristan Lawn Show. We'll come hang out. But maybe you say, you know what, I could have had a relationship or whatever, or you're heartbroken because, you're not with somebody. Listen, the blessing is that every relationship you have that didn't work out, you didn't have to go to family court. You didn't have to go to divorce court. Well, some relationships you don't got to go to family court. Mind your business. Maybe you can't understand the lesson, but right now I can show you the blessing. Right now, I can tell you the blessing is that, you know what, Austin, we have a new character in Austin Theory. They revamped the character. It's like Fortnite. They put a new skin on him. And now we have to care about him a lot differently. That's the blessing. We got somebody else that can now mix it up in the main event. It's not just 4 guys at the main event. It's not just 2 guys in the top with 2 other guys they plug in and plug out. That's what they're working to here. But maybe we can't see the lesson because they're not up to that part of the story yet. So what do we have to do? We just gotta wait a little bit. Let's see. Stu says, I don't know about being embedded is cool, but Seth isn't champion. So now whatever Austin gains from doing it needs to lead to an IC title run. Maybe him versus Javon for it. Bro, him versus Javon?
Thank you.
Javon is going to be a character in 2026 that we need to pay attention for. I think that, and thank you for your comments, everybody. I think that with Seth Rollins being out, Austin Theory being in bed with Seth Rollins, it's not going to pay itself off yet. Because why is Austin Theory out there doing the curb stomp? Why? One of the things that you have to understand about wrestling, guys, is that we call it gimmick infringement. You can't come out there and use my move. If Shawn Michaels is wrestling on the show that I'm wrestling on, nobody else is using a super kick. That's Shawn Michaels' finish. If you're going to use somebody else's finish, you need to get their blessing to use their finish. So, did Austin Theory get the blessing to use Seth Rollins' finish? Or did he just take it? We don't know. But when it reveals, when Seth Rollins comes back, we're going to have to see it. I think that Seth Rollins will be back before WrestleMania. I think that Seth Rollins will be back before WrestleMania. And then there's going to be questions that's going to have to be answered. And this could be one of the questions that we get answered. Thank you so much, Stu. Fernando says, Mackenzie, you are wrong. Montez would have been a good choice. You know what, Fernando? Maybe Montez would have been a good choice. And here's what I'm going to ask you. I didn't scroll down yet. Maybe you've already talked about it already. But here's the question. You know how we do this. If we are sitting in the booking room right now and you said that he is the person, I'm going to ask you, so then fine. I'm not going to poop on it. Tell us the story. We want to see it. Tell us the story. Convince us why it should have been Montez Ford. Mackenzie says that Austin Theory is a good wrestler. He's very talented in the ring. Right. That's from Mackenzie 1988. But in WWE, you need more than just being talented in the ring. I was having a with another brother at work. And I was telling him about Ilya Dragunov. I said, Ilya Dragunov, and I've had this conversation on Threads. You guys can follow me at Threads at The Real Big Tris. I said that Ilya Dragunov, I don't see him being a main eventer. And everybody pooped on me on Threads. And that's fine. You could poop on me. I'll be a toilet if that's what you want me to be. Ilya Dragunov is just a great wrestler. I'm not saying that he's a bad wrestler. And I'm not saying that he's an okay wrestler. And I'm definitely not saying that he's a good wrestler. Ilya Dragunov is a great wrestler. But in the WWE, you need more than that. When you are looking at people like Bray Wyatt maybe wasn't a 5-star wrestler, but he had a character. People say that people say that Rey Mysterio doesn't have a character. Rey Mysterio has a character. He's not a 5-star wrestler. Why people like Braun Strowman don't work? What is Braun Strowman? The brother tried telling me that Braun Strowman was just like the Big Show. I said, why would you want to have another Big Show? Big Show, respectfully, Big Show wasn't a WrestleMania main event guy that's decorating the WWE. So why would they want to reinvent that again? Braun Strowman was just another strong guy who came out and was angry. Let me run through this chat real quick because we're getting ready. Hey, Summer, what's going on? I saw Summer just jumped in. Let's see. Stu says that Montez is a good option, but then what about Dawkins?
Thank you.
Mackenzie said that it doesn't make sense to put Montez Ford in that storyline. He doesn't have a backstory with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Fernando says that Mackenzie, he's saying that to Mackenzie, Austin Theory has had 3 restarts and a Money in the Bank win, and it all went nowhere. Let's get real about this. Damn. Fernando's got a point. Fernando's got a point. The man has had 3 restarts and a Money in the Bank win. So what's going to make this one different? I'm not even mad at Fernando for that. Not even mad at Fernando. Stu says, well, Montes could have been the same reason as Austin. I'm lost and I want to take a risk. And I want to make a change. I'm not articulating it well right now, but yeah. Yeah, but then what about Dawkins? Fernando says that he had 3 restarts. Wait, no, we read that already. Kemper says, kind of reminds me of when Seth used to use the Triple H pedigree. Fernando says that Dragunov is a lot better and has a brighter future than Theory. I think wrestling-wise, I think they're both good wrestlers, but I think that right now, somebody like Ilya Dragunov would flourish in AEW. Flourish in AEW because he's a great wrestler, but he just doesn't have a character. What's his character? He's a Russian guy? That's it? He's a Russian guy? They've had a Russian guy before. And what happened with them? Nothing. It just doesn't work. To me, it just doesn't work. I think that fans just stopped reacting to Austin Theory for the same exact reason what Fernando said. The guys had 3 restarts, a Money in the Bank win, and then what? Nothing. A waste of time. But maybe this time isn't different. What we did was that we reacted to what they to what they thought he was. The mask stripped away that first baggage, at least in theory. It stripped away that it was Austin Theory. And so if the story wasn't about shock, why do people feel that it was so flat to so many people? Pro wrestling is unique in this day and age. In this new era of pro wrestling since the internet, pro wrestling is uniquely bad at secrecy. Why? You got live crowds. You got travel schedules. You got hotels. You got contracts, and you got production leaks. Wrestling news sites, they are awarded for speed, being first, and engagement. This thing right here that you got right here makes you a news reporter. Instead of calling 911, you're out there talking about World Star. Because you want to be the one to say that you had the news first. That's what you're out here doing. Instead of, you want to be the person to say that I have the video. Live crowds, look, man, if pro wrestling, you know when you go to some of these comedy shows, and I'm over time, but we're going to keep going, because we're having a real good conversation today, and you know what? It's your Christmas gift. This is what I'm giving to you guys. And if you're looking for Christmas gifts, you guys could go down to the link in the description and get yourself a Tristan Law Show t-shirt. Get yourself a Tristan Law Show t-shirt. And then tag me or send me the picture of you wearing the t-shirt to tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com or text it to 973-826-0101 and I'll make sure I post it on social media and I'll tag you. I will tag you wearing the t-shirt. But you know when you go to some of these Netflix events to watch comedy, they take your phones and lock your phones up. Imagine if they started doing that at WWE events, locking up your phones, locking up your meta glasses so that you can't record anymore. Now we get really surprised. But would you really go to a WWE event or an AEW event, a pro wrestling event, to where they locked up your phones? Pro wrestling news sites, they're rewarded for speed. They want to be the first one. Dave Meltzer want to be the first one. WrestleZone want to be the first one. It's being first is the engagement. They are news sites and they're built on clicks. They want to be first. They're not thinking about restraint. They jump out the plane every single time and hoping that the parachute opens. But it's not evil. It's structural. Because movies, when you're going to watch a movie, the new Avengers is coming out. I don't know, I wish Jess was here. Jess watches all that stuff. It's Wednesday. Jess is not here on Wednesday. But movies can hide spoilers. Wrestling, whenever you're watching wrestling, you always assume that wrestling takes place now. Monday Night Raw. In case you didn't know, I'm going to ruin it for you right now. Last Monday Night Raw wasn't live. They taped it last Monday. Or they taped it after SmackDown, whichever it was. All they do is they tape the matches right? So when you're watching it live, they give you your whole live Raw or SmackDown. And then after, instead of doing dark matches, they just give you a couple matches. And then what they do is do some production magic and plug in the intros and plug in the voiceover. They plug in the crowd noise if they need. They get to create a lot of magic. It wasn't live. We always assume that wrestling takes place now. It's porous. The audience we expect access, and some of us, we have a little bit of entitlement. In wrestling, knowing early feels like you're being smart, even when it ruins the story. For me, I don't do spoilers. I don't do spoilers at all. You know why? Because I'd be madder than a bull, knowing that the PLE come on Saturday night, and I'm out there working on these people's subway trains on a Saturday night, and I can't watch it. What do? I put my whole phone on D&D until I get home, until I can watch it. Because one of y'all gonna ruin it for me. One day I walked into a room at work, and this one woman who I used to wrestle with, who actually works at the job, ironically, she said, "Yo, did you see this that happened in the PLE?" I said, damn it. I didn't even get to watch it yet. You ruined it. Here's a question. Should wrestling news sites hold back on spoilers? Or is that unrealistic now? I'm going to tell you what I think, but I think there was something in the chat. Stu says, I see Austin Theory having a Chris Sabin type career. Chris Sabin from the Motor City Machine Guns, who we haven't seen in quite some time. You know what? I'm not a fan of SmackDown being 3 hours. I don't want to spend 3 hours watching my wrestling. I don't. But maybe it's not about us. Maybe it's about the wrestlers that we like that are not getting enough TV time. Maybe now that they have another 55 minutes, they can utilize that 55 minutes to showcase some talent that we don't get to see all the time. Should wrestling sites hold back on spoilers, or is it unrealistic? I think that it should be marked spoiler. They should give you the headline, and then when you go in, they should say, if you keep reading, it's going to be a spoiler. Don't just show me the picture and say Austin Theory is the masked person. Nah, I don't want that. I don't want that. Should wrestling sites hold back on the spoilers? Some people actually like the spoilers. For some people need to, for me, I'm not a fan of pre-recorded Raws or SmackDowns. I am not a fan of wrestling this time of year, and I'm not going to lie, I don't invest that much. I can skip a Raw or a SmackDown during this time of year because it's not live. I like the shock value. I like to watch and be shocked when I watch. But if I go online, it's like stepping on a landmine trying to figure out how to not get a spoiler. So what do? I don't watch. Now, I might go read about it. I might have it on in the background, but I don't give it too much investment because I don't think no real business actually happens on a pre-recorded Raw or SmackDown unless it happens backstage because you're not watching that when you're live, when you're in the audience watching two Raws, one recorded, one live. So what I do, like some people said, we just go ahead and we just read it just to see if it's even worth watching. Oh, LA Knight had a great match. Let's see what happened. Mackenzie said that Vince picked Austin Theory as the chosen one, the prodigy of the WWE. He saw something special in Theory.
Thank you.
I do not think that Austin Theory is not special. I agree with you, Mackenzie. What I see is that, just like Fernando, I just want this one to pay off. I want this one to be the one. And I am sitting here impatiently waiting to see what is going to happen with Austin Theory. And God, can we bow our heads real quick? God, please, make this be the one for Austin Theory. Make this be the one that works for Austin Theory. Make this be the one that puts him into the main event special. Make this be the one that we don't have to see a 4-3 star because, God, you know, I don't got a fourth restart in me when it comes to Austin Theory. You know what, God? I don't think that Austin Theory has a fourth restart in him. God. Do not let Austin Theory fail in this third restart, because I don't think that he wants to go to Walmart to push shopping carts, even though he's brolic. He could probably drag all those shopping carts. But God, that's not what we want. We want this one to work for Austin Theory. Can the church say amen? Can the church say amen? Looking at, did the internet ruin Austin Theory's reveal for you? We got more votes coming in. 45% said they're waiting to see. 27% said yes, it was spoiled too early. No, 18% says no, the story still works. 9% says they never cared either way. Keep those votes coming in because we ain't done yet. We almost done. Stu says Vince's booking of Austin Theory has always been better than Triple H's. Damn.
Yeah!
Fernando says that too many spoilers these days for movies and wrestling. I agree. The only spoiler that I want to know about a movie when I do go see a movie is there something for, should I sit around till the end credits? That's all I want to know. I don't want to know what happened. I just want to know, should I sit around for it? Summer said amen. That's all. Let the church say amen. But I don't think that pro wrestling companies, news sites should hold back on the spoilers. In case you guys didn't know, back in the day, and I'm talking about maybe like, let me try to tell the story right so it'll come out like a lie. I'm talking about 2007, 2008, maybe even 2009. WWE used to have their own news on the channel. I'm not talking about, oh, look, this is happening here. I'm talking about just like any wrestling site you would go to, you can get it from the WWE's website. You were even able to get independent pro wrestling news from the WWE website. You didn't have to go anywhere else. They were trying to one-stop shop you until they found out that it didn't work anymore. But right now, we are going to lead ourselves into the most uncomfortable part of this conversation. Fans, a lot of fans say they want long-term storytelling. It used to be we book from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. But now I think that Triple H is booking from quarter to quarter. Right now it's almost January. They probably have an idea of what the main event in WrestleMania is going to be. That's that long-term storytelling. They know who is going to be the Intercontinental Champion. They probably know what the biggest story should be going into WrestleMania. Granted, it's fluid. It could change at any time. But demand, right? People want immediate payoffs. My personal trainer used to say, microwave results. Everybody wants microwave results. They want to know who it is right then and now. Y'all can't wait a second. Damn. Everybody wants that viral moment, and we judge from 1 week to the next. This was week two? Yeah, probably was week 2, chapter 1, and it was a reintroduction. Austin Theory coming out there in the mask. It was not a reintroduction. Listen, everybody. Austin Theory coming out there in the mask, it was a reintroduction. It was not the climax. This is not the end. We have to wait to see what happens. Austin Theory coming out there in the mask. That was the teaser. That was the teaser. Getting Austin Theory to take off the mask, though, however, that was the reintroduction. Oh, I don't even think we even reached the good part yet. We just gotta wait. Fernando, my brother, I get it. I'm with you. You don't have another Austin Theory restart in you. But you know what? Let's just look. Let's cross our fingers. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. Let's hope that this one works. I am going to say this. And I'm going to stand in business. And I'm going to mean it. I think that by next year, this time, Austin Theory will be one of those people that we are talking about. Big time. You know what? Maybe I could be wrong. You know what, Fernando? I still expect to be doing, God willing, I expect to be doing the Tristan Law Show within the next year. Continuing. It's growing. The channel is growing. Working on more content for you guys. But I strongly believe in my heart that Austin Theory will be the guy that we'll be talking about next year. Fernando, if I'm wrong, you can rub it in my face like dirt. Fernando, you have full permission. If this guy right here is not the guy, Austin Theory, if that's not the guy that we care about, December 2026, you can rub it in my face and say, bro, I was right. I was right, because you know what? At that point, you were right. I can't even argue with you. Can't even argue with you. Here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this angle will work. I'm saying that it hasn't even had time to fail yet. So you know how we do. Let's wrap this up the right way. The Austin Theory reveal, it wasn't ruined by a bad idea. It was damaged by a culture that consumes answers before stories. Wrestling news sites didn't break the angle, they broke the suspense. And wrestling fans, us, we didn't reject the story, we rejected the versions that didn't even match what we already imagined. We imagined that it could be Montez Ford. We imagined that it could be Karrion Kross, Chris Jericho. But it was Austin Theory. And Austin Theory, he didn't need to wear a mask to shock us. You know why Austin Theory wore the mask? Austin Theory wore the mask because we saw him stepping up to the plate. Austin Theory wore the mask because we stopped seeing him. Whether this works or not, this is not going to be decided in a couple weeks. It's going to be decided by whether WWE commits, whether they go knee deep in this, and whether fans can remember, whether we can remember how to wait. Well, did the internet ruin Austin Theory for us, the reveal? I don't know. I don't think so. If you are unsure about Austin Theory, just hold on. Thank you so much for watching today. I'll be back next week. The schedule's getting crazy, but I'll be back. Call me, 973-826-0101. Email me, TristanLawShow@gmail.com. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, Stu. Thank you so much, Fernando. Thank you so much, Summer. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, 1988. Hey, thank you so much. You know what? Honestly, thank you guys so much for being a part of me in 2026. Thank you so much for showing up consistently for me. I want to take a second to thank Jess for just randomly being on the internet and me finding her. I want to thank you guys being on the internet and randomly finding me. I appreciate you guys. I got this song by Nefex. It's called This Is Not a Christmas Song. That is how we're closing this episode. 973-826-0101. Call me.